I found myself pregnant at 22. The man was 6 years my senior. And at 23, I gave birth to a son. But I ended up leaving this man when I was 7 months pregnant because of his infidelity. I was very angry with him, and I knew I had to do whatever I had to do to raise my son. And although I'm not a father, I did the best that I could. In raising my son, I still ended up wanting my family to be together because I came from a broken family, but yet a family. You know, my parents loved me, I knew that, but I really wanted my family to work. And so I kept going back. And this person was abusive, not physically, well, a little physical and some, emotional abuse. And so I ended up pregnant again. And I didn't tell him. This time I made the choice and I aborted my child. I gotta do this because I'm not going to raise 2 children by myself. Being there, as much as they try to comfort you and tell you that everything is going to be okay, it's not okay. And I still felt like a piece of meat on a chopping block. And afterwards, I was very numb. I felt shameful. I felt guilty. I was angrier at myself for even, doing such a thing. And I hadn't even realized what I had done, to be honest with you. Once I had the first abortion, it led me on a life of promiscuity. I used drugs, every kind of drugs you can think of. I drank like a fish. I did everything, a life of self-destruction. I was a functioning addict, and I was functioning in my self-destruction. I got saved, and I was out ministering, and there was a man that the Holy Spirit continued to put in my path, and he was very angry. And so at the end, I asked him what was wrong. And because he wanted change for $1. And I said, I don't have change, but what's wrong? Why are you so angry? And he said, because America made him kill somebody. And he committed murder. But the Holy Spirit quickened me and said, tell him about your 5 abortions, Lisa. And so I told him, and whatever was that anger on that man, it broke it off of him. But what it left me with is I had to go home and deal with what God had just revealed to me, because I never thought of it as murder. And I asked God, what is this you're telling me about murder? And so he began to tell me about it. So I repented and I said, okay, Lord, I'm sorry. Well, I thought that was the end of it. I was the last person to share all my hurt and my pain. And I began to cry as I was sharing. And when I finished, he began to minister to me. And he said, I want to apologize for everything that every man has ever done to you. Every hurt, every pain, every time they left you without help. And as he began to minister to me in that way, I began to cry profusely, and I could not stop crying. And the harder I cried, I began to feel a heaviness and weight and chains just breaking off of me. And I told him, I said, I forgive you. I forgive all of you for what you did to me. I forgive all of you. I forgive everybody. And it just broke. And I took a deep breath. And I felt so much lighter. I realized that I was angry with men. And that's why my relationships wouldn't last. I was so upset with them. My heart was hardened. I had unforgiveness. I had shame and bitterness. And it was so much. I was bound. And I just wanted to be free. And to my surprise, it was a man that referred me. It was a man that God used to anoint my feet and apologize to me. And it was the man, God himself, who set me free.